Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Hit the fucking like button. I think that's gonna be our new saying moving forward.
I know, I almost messed it up again. I was thinking about last week.
No, it's perfect, dude. I've been good, man. I had a really relaxing, enjoyable weekend. Coming off, so tonight, the reason we're recording this at 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. I, being the dumbass, really wanted to watch the Knicks win tonight, and they did it. So I should have just skipped that shit so I can get some good night's sleep, but it's all good, dude. Yeah, it's funny because I know you're not really into sports like that, right?
For the most part, I when it's high stakes, like if it's the finals, I'll pay attention, even if I don't.
But like you don't have like a team, like your mood isn't like, yo, I gotta plan my weekend or my day, or like if they win, you're on a high, and if they lose, you're like, fuck.
Only if I placed a bet. That's the only time.
Okay,
my mood goes up and down.
Yeah. Was that a conscious effort by your parents by any chance? I have like a weird theory, or like were they not really into sports either?
So what it was? No, my dad's actually really into sports, but he was never a diehard fan of any particular team, nor was my family in general. I always played sports, but I always, for some reason, found watching it really boring. I don't know why, but I just hated sitting there watching it. I was like, I'd rather play it myself. And I think since my family never had a team they cared about, I never necessarily had a team that I cared about.
Yeah, so that's a great point, because like I think so. I was raised, so rest in peace to Lewis. So like Lewis is a huge Knicks fan, man, and like the moment I got aware and he realized that I was aware of like what's happening in sports, because we were all like, when it comes to basketball growing up, like we were all Michael Jordan fans, right? Like regardless of what city you're from, like I was from New York. The Knicks hate the Bulls, but growing up in that era, like it was Jordan, right? But once he retired, my dad saw like a window, like, oh fuck, like I can put my Knicks onus on him now, right? And bro, that was at the age of 7 or 8 years old. I am 34 now, bro. So for the past 27 years, I have had the highs and there've been no highs, and just the lows, bro. And like this shit, bro, Saturday, so we're finally good. It's the playoffs are happening right now for everyone's listening who's also a sports fan. And dude, we were going into game 3, tied 1-1, playing Miami. And bro, we get our asses kicked Saturday afternoon. And I am in the worst fucking mood. Like I'm yelling, I'm cursing, like I feel my body just getting fucking tight and like pissed. And I'm just like, bro, like I literally yelled out loud to Gina. I'm like, bro, like if we have a kid, like I'm not putting him through this shit. And like, it was a real feeling. I'm like, bro, this is ruining my fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, no, I was like, real. I can't make my son support whoever. And like, then he has to deal with this angst. Like, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to just focus on like, if you like the sport, pick a few players you like, and then just support them. Because this team shit, bro, even though it sounds good to like support like the team where you're from, bro, it hurts too much when it's not going well, dude. Like it, and I don't even like the Knicks as much as like Arsenal. And like, if Arsenal have a bad day, bro, don't talk to me, bro. Like, don't talk to me. Don't give me updates. Like, I don't want to hear about your life. Like, bro, it's just, man. So luckily today I was like aware of these thoughts. So like, even when we were losing, I was just like, oh, all right, it is what it is. You know, it's just basketball, Danny. It's just basketball.
No, I understand you with that feeling, because I mean, when I played sports, I was super competitive to the point where like if I lost against my brothers or my dad or whatever, I would literally like break shit or like just cuss and be angry at them for like 2 days. And for me, like obviously that's not a healthy behavior to have, to be a sore loser. And I can only imagine how ridiculous I would look, I don't know, to my wife or whatever, if I'm tossing a remote across the room when whoever misses a dunk and it has no material impact on my life.
Yo, dude, I don't even think about what Gina thinks anymore, because she's heard it all, bro. Like 6 a.m. me cursing, like, dude, I was losing my fucking mind. But no, I sort of get it. I'm starting to think more about like the future and stuff, like God willing. And it's just like, dude, I don't think I want to put my kids through this, bro. Like this feels like something that's like, hey, like I have a lot of pain. Let me give that to you. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, bro, it's not worth it, bro. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. Like, I'll get them like a cute little Knicks jersey so they look cute in pictures. But growing up, I'm like, yo, just do what you want, bro. Like, don't even worry about daddy did, because like it's
Right.
you don't want this pain.
But the annoying thing is, so fortunately, like I know the high level mainstream aspects of like basketball and football. Like I obviously know about the John Morant type stuff, and
Sure.
whoever else that my brothers are talking about. But like I feel like sports and even TV shows are generally the safe topics at work events and stuff. But
They are.
I don't really watch TV. I don't really follow sports, so it's a lot of times it's super awkward when people have like absolutely nothing else to talk about.
That's interesting. So like, so hypothetically, you're at a random work event on a Friday night. And you need to socialize with someone who's not on your direct team. Like, what's your go-to to like break the ice?
I mean, since I'm in San Francisco and in tech, I think the crowd is generally a little nerdier.
Okay.
So I don't think those conversations come up quite as much. And honestly, ever since COVID, I haven't done a whole lot of in-person interaction. But usually I just try to like steer the conversation towards like being new to San Francisco. Most people aren't even from here. So trying to connect on that level, and then potentially, talk about music or something else that I care about. And I'll still be able to kind of have a decent conversation about sports, but usually quickly I'll be like, I don't really have a team. Like, I don't care type of thing.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, like I'm not against my kids like being aware of sports.
Right.
I just don't want them to have such allegiance to a team that now it's like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, I don't wish the emotions I have on anyone, dude. Like, cause like again, the highs when they're fired, dude, like yesterday, like Arsenal won. Bro, like I was telling you, I was telling Blair offline, like my favorite soccer team won a really difficult game. And bro, I was like, you know what? I'm having some drinks right now. I'm in a great fucking mood, you know what I mean? But the lows of that are like, bro, go smoke some fucking weed to take the fucking edge off. And it's like, bro, like, I shouldn't be so moved to do certain things because of a fucking game that has nothing to do with me. Like,
it's kind of like gambling. Except, I mean, you don't lose money necessarily, but that you win a couple $100, you feel like the man, and then you lose 200, screws up your whole weekend in Vegas.
Bro, I couldn't even imagine. So I think I'm grateful that I do have this steadfast rule. I never bet on teams that I actually support, because I truly think it'll just be double the pain. You know what I mean? Like I lose $1,000 and then I also lose. You know what I mean? Like, I am failing in life in every way.
Right. And then you're low key like blaming them for the loss of the money too. And you're like, damn, screw XYZ player.
Yeah. Fuck this team, bro. They don't know what I've been through, bro. Like, fuck. No. But how about you, man? How was your weekend after a pretty lit weekend the week prior?
It was solid. Wifey on Saturday went to a child's birthday party, a coworker's child. She asked me if I wanted to go. I said absolutely not. Mainly because it was too far away, and I'm not about to hang out with, a bunch of little kids. It was obviously going to be tame. I mean, they had drinks and stuff, and I have nothing against kids or whatever, but I just knew the crowd wouldn't be my
there's
vibe.
One thing that go to a party where people may bring their kids. There's one thing to go to a kid's party.
Right.
Yeah.
And I already knew like what these people were going to be like, generally speaking, kind of like dry.
Yeah.
I just knew it wasn't going to be worth it. So I stayed home, had a fire workout the morning of.
Nice. So you guys are getting back in the swing of that?
Mm-hmm. Especially because with the wedding coming up and obviously needing like a beach bod of some sort, I just want to trim some fat before we do all that. But yeah, worked out. I think I did some hookah at the crib. Did a handful of like errands, played some video games. I feel like I did a lot. It was just like me self-care time.
Dude, it's so needed though, bro. It's so needed, man. Especially like, you're about to go on a whole trip. Like sometimes people, I feel like, get so excited for you about a trip. Like, oh, dude, you're gonna have a great time. But it's like, bro, but you also have to be in the right mindset to have a great time. You know what I mean? Like, it just because like you just show up, it's not gonna just be amazing, bro. You have to like be mentally in a space to like, all right, let's take this in. I mean, I can just enjoy, as opposed to like, so stressed and you're already stressed about your life. So, nah, man, good for both of us for honestly taking some time to do that. Cause I feel like most people just like, oh, it's a trip. I'll just have a great time. It's like, no, dude, I personally don't think it works that way.
Yeah. What's trippy to me is I know a handful of people who don't, for this reason, but they don't like traveling, like the planning of it and everything. They just want to be at home. And I'm like, I didn't come this far to like not see the world and enjoy it and take time off from work, not just see the world, take time off from work too.
Yeah, dude, because then you're literally living for your job. And it's like, there's no way I don't know what the purpose of life is, but it's definitely not that. You know what I mean? Like, worst case scenario, use that money to do something else. Dude, yeah. And it's just like, I think the way we were raised, bro, again, your dad's not even from the States, so traveling obviously was always a part of your culture from an early thing. Dude, me living in India, I was traveling nonstop back and forth to the States. So like, I'm so used to it, like from an early age. So yeah, the idea of other people not being, like I do my very best to like not just give them like a shook, like
what's wrong with you type thing.
Because sometimes it's not even like, and I hope people like, I'm not even talking about like traveling abroad thing, bro. There's certain people in the States that don't even leave their state.
Oh
like,
yeah.
All they know, like if they're in San Fran, bro, we'll know Oakland. Like we're not going anywhere else. And it's like, bro, like there's no way I trust your opinion about anything if all you know is your diameter, bro. Like there's no fucking way.
It's crazy that you say that because I'm part of this app and it's basically an anonymous forum for people to complain about their companies called Blind. And someone in the app was like, the culture shock in San Francisco's killing me. I grew up in, I don't know, the Midwest or something where all my peers were white and Hispanic. And I can't, it went from burgers to now hanging out with like Indians and Chinese people. And like all there is around me is Asian food. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, we have a million options to choose from. And second of all, like live a little, like figure it out.
Yeah, how is that?
This is really right.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a wild complaint, dude. That's a wild complaint. Yeah, man. I went to, again, not to name names, but I was at Gina's thing the other day in Dallas, and like a couple people just never been on a plane before. And I'm like, bro, interesting. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude, this is a big day for you for being on a plane and coming. Like, it's just like, it's just crazy to me sometimes. Again, and everyone's obviously pockets are different, but sometimes I think it's just because they don't think they need that. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Because like, dude, like people who sometimes don't travel also have a ton of money. They just feel like if I can't drive to it, I'm not doing it. And then what's the point of driving 5-6 hours if we have the same things here? It's like, you don't have the same things here, bro. And like, even if you do, it's still cool to say, oh, bro, I went to In-N-Out in another state and it wasn't that good compared to this one because of the logistics, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, like, I feel like going back to like the, the breaking the ice at like network, I feel like that's how like stories are formed, bro. Like by shared experiences and like just have a conversation about it as opposed to like, I just live here and this is everything and this is the best thing. I'm like, bro, you think because you happen to be born here, this is the best that the world has to offer? Like, how can you believe in God and think that because you were born in Cleveland, Ohio, like your life is so blessed? Like that's all you know. I
swear to God, you're in my head because my wife's friend who's from work from Cleveland, Ohio.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear, for the first time ever, she joined my wife, on a trip to France, and her parents like were super skeptical because she hadn't traveled anywhere, I think, except Hawaii or something. And of course, they're trying to plan another trip this time to Mexico City, but the parents are not having it. They're like, oh, you're gonna get kidnapped, this and that. So it just goes to show you how sheltered, and she's not like poor. They're just sheltered and like afraid of everything. That's why. Yeah.
It's very interesting, bro. Yeah. But again, if I had it, going back to having kids or whatnot, if I'm gonna teach my kids to do anything, it's definitely like, hop on a fucking flight, go try shit, dude. Like, dude. Because again, I know like they say like the lowest form of conversation is like remember when, but I do think there's something to say that, oh yeah, dude, I went to this and I experienced that, and now like I brought this back to my day-to-day life. Like there's something to that, dude. So yeah, definitely travel more if you can. And your trip is when again? The 16th?
The 7th. I leave the night of the 17th.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
leave a couple days after me because I leave, God willing, this Friday, and then I'm in Spain for exactly 10 days. So
Nice.
super excited about that. I kept seeing a couple recent TikToks on Mallorca, and I was like, bro, this is it. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
no, you're gonna have an amazing time. It was one of those places I never knew existed, and I'm so glad I went.
dude, I've always heard about it. It's always sounded like a very like prestigious place when I spoke to other people who are like European goers. So like, I don't know, man, like maybe low key, like there was like probably like an inferiority complex. And I'm like, bro, I'll never go there. Like, why would I like, I'm only going to go to the big spots in Spain if I ever go to Spain. But I was like, nah, bro, go to some fucking random ass island, dude. Just like, you can afford it. Just go.
Yeah.
But dude, it's funny because like everyone keeps telling me, like the two other people I know who've been there, but he's actually there right now. But the same thing you told me that like, yeah, dude, just go into the city center and you're gonna find everything you need. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay. I feel like I want to have more planning for a 4-day trip, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's why I felt bad or confused on how to answer you, because when I thought about it, I'm like, we basically like we got food from the resort, like went to the city center, and just ate at dope restaurants, kind of walked around, had drinks on the beach. Like we didn't really have an itinerary. One thing I will say is next time we go, we definitely want to rent a car because apparently there's a lot of nice spots around the island, but it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. So that's something we didn't do. So if you're going to be there for a while, consider it. But I had fun just exploring.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like because our last trip to Italy was so like, we got 5 cities in, bro, in 8 days. So it felt like a work, you know what I mean? So I do think because we're trying to like go away and relax and truly get some R&R, I think we're good with just like, let's go to this restaurant that's recommended on TripAdvisor, but let's just go to the beach, get drunk, and just chill all day long. You know what I mean? So like, and we already have like the boat day plans. I feel like that's enough as far as like, because we get there Monday and we leave Thursday. So I mean, I feel like we also don't want to do too much and like now it's like, oh fuck, I'm exhausted kind of thing.
Oh no, it's perfect for that. And there's like a million on the beach, like even near the hookah and drinks, there's a massage spot like every 2 feet, and it's like open, and you just walk in, get a quick foot massage, back rub, whatever, and it's amazing.
Oh no,
and cheap,
dude,
I think.
I think the euro is still relatively affordable right now too. So man, I'm excited, and we'll have a full trip recap. This is going to probably be the last episode of May, so take it all in. Episode 141 is up right now as well. But cool, broski, let's get into it. I guess this has been the topic for a while, so we can start there. Blair sent me a cool snippet of, so I feel like we haven't had any big names really co-signing AI just yet. So it was interesting to see the legendary producer that is Timbaland sharing. Did he create that song, by the way, or was it?
He definitely produced the beat. I just don't know who did the lyrics.
Okay, cool. So he produced a song that has AI generated lyrics from Biggie Smalls. And that's funny. That's a topic we've been talking about in the past. Like, fucker, like who cares about what it sounds like? Just the idea of doing songs for people that passed away just still feels wrong to me. So when you were going through the comment section before you sent it to me, was there any like talk about that? Like, this is kind of just fucked up. Like, why are you doing it with Biggie? Or was it more so like, why are you like co-signing AI in the first place?
I mean, I think everyone was in agreement that it sounded pretty good. I think it's kind of hard to deny that, but everyone's like, nah, this isn't it. Like, he's deceased. And on top of that, he's already, a millionaire who doesn't need this exposure or whatever the case is. So for those reasons, they're like, why would Timbaland even experiment and then broadcast this to everyone and give them, the idea to continue this current trend that everyone's already afraid of?
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense. I mean, to answer that part, like, why would he do it? I feel like that has to do a lot with, bro, like, think about it, man. Like, he's been around since what, the mid 90s? And I mean, since like, dude, again, he dominated like for 20, 25 years straight, right? Yeah. But he hasn't really been the limelight like that, dude. Like, he did his, I know him and Swiss Beat created the whole Versus platform. They made a ton of money off that. But like, no one's really checking for Timbaland anymore, bro. Which again sounds crazy, but again, the times changed, bro. You can only be on top for so long, right? So I can see that being a reason why he'd be willing to put his name on it. But dude, I wanted to actually bring up a topic that came to mind, just like as these rollouts keep happening of like different songs and different, different tracks. Dude, do we think that these? Because I was shocked to have like Timbaland talk about it, right? Which is obviously a pioneer. Dude, but I'm shocked that I haven't heard Drake or like The Weeknd or any of these guys who are actually being covered comment on it. Yeah. And the reason why I think they haven't is because, bro, like if we're hearing about this shit just now, I feel like they've been on this or have heard of this stuff happening like 6 months to a year ago. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that like this shit just drops and like we're hearing it for the first time as them. I feel like they've been fully aware of this technology and have heard a version of this like 6 to 8 months ago and like have been already like training themselves like, yo, let's not comment until we know the legal parameters about this or our label, blah, blah, blah. Because, bro, for them not to even like chime in seems crazy to me.
Yeah, it does seem crazy. Though the theory I heard that I actually am leaning towards is if they do respond directly, then it just draws more attention and these little kids are just going to continue to do it with the hopes that, maybe Post Malone will respond this time or this person. So I think there might be an agreement to be like, let's shut up and let, Universal Records or whatever, take this down, as opposed to being like, damn, this song is kind of dope, but it also is messing with my release schedule.
Yeah,
and
my money
encouraged copycats, basically.
Got it. That's a good point. Yeah. And I guess they don't want to be like the Metallica, like with the whole like Napster thing and being the first one that says, this is not okay, we deserve our money kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good take too. But yeah, but what do you think about like them knowing about this well before we ever knew about this? Or do you think they also just heard it the first time online like we all did?
I'm leaning towards the latter. I think they heard about it pretty much around the same time as us.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. And the only way I would think they would have known about it before is if the record labels had already developed some sort of solution to monetize it. Like if Atlantic Records today was like, hey, we launched this platform, or this is the first song with AI, that we've promoted, then I would believe it. But it seems like they're panicking, so I feel like none of them really knew.
Yeah, but again, I wonder though, like, because again, like even in the clip, the Timbaland clip that we alluded to, like even that, like he brings up like the laws, right? Like, I mean, they could have heard about this 6 months ago, but dude, it takes more than 6 months to create laws that will help you, form some kind of like, royalty checks or whatever from it. So I feel like that also may be playing a part into it, bro. Because like, do you think about like MTV Cribs or some shit, and you go to these people's houses and they have like all the newest technology before all of us. You know what I mean? Like they got TVs coming out the fucking couch and all this shit that we've never even heard of. And we're like, bro, like this is a thing? Like, oh, because you're rich and you have exposure to certain people. Like,
yeah.
I just find it hard to believe that Drake is hearing about AI covers for the first time on YouTube, as opposed to like someone brought it to him and made like a cover for him. And he's like, oh wow, this is crazy, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible, especially because we heard the AI voiceovers of like Biden and stuff, but never music. So there is a high potential that maybe someone savvy within the industry had kind of already been experimenting with stuff, and then now like every little kid can basically use it, and they probably just, no one had ever abused the technology until now, so maybe he's just finding out that people are starting to do it rather than the fact that the technology existed.
Yeah, that's a good point. To the video that we were talking about with Timbaland and Biggie, he ended up taking that video down, right?
I believe so. I didn't check his personal profile, but I know, it was all over the internet, but I'm sure he got a million negative comments from it, except what's his name? Chuck D actually said it sounded dope. And I think another like hip hop legend of some sort, pioneer, said something similar, which was very interesting to me.
That is interesting. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, it may fucking prolong a lot of people's careers, bro. If you think about it, or revive some people's careers, or resurrect. Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's such a wild time. Again, I've been doing my best to just like anytime, like either you send me one or like I see them on TikTok, I just like keep moving, bro. I'm like, I'm not ready to embrace this shit at all. Like, again, only because like the point we made last week, like, I want to hear the soul of it, bro. I want to know that this is a struggle for you to create this.
Right.
So again, I know that maybe the person writing it is struggling and finally feels like they're gonna be, like, you know what I mean? Like, something about like knowing that an artist is like, fuck, dude, this song may be my big break, and I'm gonna make sure my voice sounds a certain way. So I know I'm just not there just yet. But again, this is still the early stages. I'm sure shit will change very soon.
You think old heads are so fed up with the new school that they end up preferring to hear AI, Biggie, and whoever else versus the new Lil?
No, dude, excuse me. I can't imagine that, bro. Like, I can't. Because again, I feel like it's not going to feel right, bro. Like, it's not. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, dude, we could do this, right? But like, who the fuck is buying a Biggie album written by user 4568910? Like, who, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And obviously there'll be better writers or whatever, but like, just the idea of that sounds so wrong, bro. Like, I'm not, I don't think that's gonna ever happen. But again, like, I think to the points you made last week that were valid as far as like a great tool for songwriters to bring to labels and say, hey, this is what I can make your artist sound like, and you know, like blah blah blah. So it'll be interesting, dude. But when we get that first true AI generated hit from an artist we don't know about, like not them like using, you know, someone's voice that we know, but just like a generic voice that they kind of like pre-make, I think then people will be like, oh, okay, this is interesting, kind of a thing.
So would you be on board with, let's say, a new and upcoming artist like myself, completely original music and story, everything is them except they tweak their voice to sound like I don't know, let's say their voice naturally isn't that deep, but they make it super deep and cool and kind of like Pop Smoke-ish or something, but regardless, it's 100% original and sounds dope. Are you on board with their voice being inauthentic but everything else being authentic?
I feel like I would have to be though, right? Because I feel like we do that with like auto-tuning, right? Like, it's just like, you know, tweaks the voice. Maybe this would be more extreme, but I feel like you would have to be cool with that scenario. As opposed to everything original, but I'm going to use Kanye's voice. And it's like, no, bro, like that doesn't work either. Like that's a little bit, you know, very misleading, to be perfectly honest.
I'd agree as well.
Yeah.
And I think that just proves that the human element can't be replaced. Like, sure, it can be for customer service and other random shit, but not art when you care about the human experience for the most art. Yeah. No, dude, it's interesting. It's very interesting, and man, we'll just see how it plays out. But thank you for sharing that, because it was just odd to see, and you said Chuck D as well. It was odd to see someone at that level co-sign it so hard. I know, like, Hit Boy played a video of him like with a Kanye one or something, but this was like, I don't know. Again, there's levels to this. So like, for a Timbaland to co-sign this shit, I'm just like, what's going on? Like, is this like about to really, really take over? Or is this just like a way for you to just stay relevant in the news cycle? Yeah. Who knows? I mean, I imagine he just wanted to experiment with this technology, and then it ended up sounding so good to the point where he's like, I can't not
let me share it.
Share this. So he shared it with everyone, and I get it. Like, if it sounds so dope, like part of you just kind of wishes that it really was Biggie's verse, and you'll want to release it. But like you said, I don't think it would sit well. Like, if I did covers of my songs, I personally wouldn't feel comfortable using a deceased person, let alone or even an existing one necessarily, and trying to monetize it. But I would definitely be curious.
Yeah, and it's stuff like, again, it's one thing if you naturally sound like that person, right? Like, I think people were intrigued by Shine back in the day because, like, it sounds like Biggie, right? Like, we were intrigued by Designer because, like, it sounds like Future, but we know it's not. You know what I mean? Like, whereas with these, it's like sometimes, like, it's like it just seems like off. Like, you're going out of your way to sound that way, and like I don't that makes me feel highly uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. But something else in the news that we spoke about last week, Jack Harlow, people still reacting to his is it sophomore album? I feel like he's released like
it's his
now, right?
It's his, I guess, junior album. It's his
Junior
third
album,
one
officially, right? Because there are some other pre
yeah.
EPs or mixtapes, I guess. Okay, so people are still reacting to that. Mixed reviews, I would say, from what I'm seeing online. But someone who did want to let Jack that they're probably the best white rapper alive, MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, did a freestyle. Was it with Corday?
Yeah.
This one by himself.
This one was by himself, but he had done one with Corday. It seemed like in the same setting.
Okay, yeah, I feel like the setting reminded me of something, but yeah, either way, he has he spits a few bars taking aim at Jack Harlow, and just commenting on the status of white rappers in the game. So, what were your thoughts on just the freestyle / diss by MGK alone?
I thought the bars were super dope. The wordplay in general was very impressive in my opinion, and I don't know if the bars of him calling out Jack, I don't think those were like particularly strong. Like it was a relatively simple thing to say he stole Drake's flow. Like I don't think a whole lot of thought would have to go into saying that. However, I do think he's a strong contender as far as someone who could surpass Jack Harlow in like a battle of some sort. And I think Harlow's probably not going to respond because I just see
he don't want that
smoking
smoke,
him.
bro.
I think MGK would smoke him to be honest. And that doesn't mean he's going to make better songs, but when it comes to this competitive stuff and Harlow's putting himself in that position again. So it's like you kind of have to respond. MGK is not going to do this shit with Trippie Redd or something. So
no. Yeah, but that's the thing. I didn't even think about that one. For a second, I thought it was just MGK being petty. But I guess when Jack Harlow is saying, "No, I'm the best white rapper since Eminem," and it's not anyone else who you're thinking about when I said that. Yeah, I think MGK could take that as a fucking shot. You know what I mean? Because we think about MGK as like the rock star, but really this motherfucker can spit, bro. Because like my thing was like, bro, like my first thought to you after I heard it was like, dude, what if he just did this all the time? You know what I mean? Like, what if he only fucking rapped? Like, would we embrace it? I feel like it's so unique now when he does it. We're like, oh shit, like you still do this? Like, I'm just so used to like singing and like, dude, again, living the fucking best life ever. But yeah, man, I was impressed by the overall freestyle. I think I agree with your point. Like the bars itself, like the double on top, like it was nothing like mind blowing. But I would say though, I think it was refreshing because it confirmed what we've been, like what I said to you as far as like, bro, this motherfucker wants to beat Drake so bad. And it was wild for someone in the industry to call him out like that. It's like, bro, like, we get it, my guy. Like, he's your favorite rapper, bro, and your friends. But bro, you don't have to fucking sound like him. You know what I mean? Because like, I feel like when he entered the game, he didn't sound like this. So this like aggressive pivot left, I think everyone's like, bro, like, I don't feel comfortable when you're saying you're the best when I feel like you don't even know who the fuck you are, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So that's why I think I respect MGK even taking that shot, because we're all like, yeah, bro, like, no, you're not the best. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah. No, I mean, he needs that competition, and soft people are going to be like, oh, MGK's a hater or whatever, but it's purely competitive. He didn't say anything super disrespectful. Like from a battle rap perspective, I think it was pretty light as far as the diss goes. Tame as this ever, like a 4-year-old could say it and you wouldn't be like, oh my God, this is so disrespectful. But I think MGK like, killed it.
I'm here.
Yeah, Tame, I'm here. It was like a light what's it called? Baiting him into
like
battle.
A great way to bait him. He's like, bro, like I'm letting you shine, but bro, if you want this, like, you know, I'm here. Because you compare that to the full diss track of Eminem, bro, this doesn't even hold any weight. But I think it was just cool for one to be reminded of how I think the freestyle itself just made us like question that whole Jack Harlow line in the first place. It's like, oh wait, dude, this guy may be a rock singer, but he may be a better rapper than you. You know what I mean? So I think the whole freestyle did that, and the one line, which was barely long, was like a nice, like, oh, cool, like he actually is giving him a little jab. But yeah, and again, to your point, it's if Jack is gonna say certain phrases and try to become so rappity rap that, bro, this is hip hop. Like, this is hip hop. Like, the competition of it, right? Like, everyone's fucking friends. Everyone goes to Rolling Loud. And they all fucking hang out. But in reality, like, bro, like, it's the fun nature of, like, dude, I'm a better rapper than you, and I'm gonna show you, which we don't get often enough now. So I think it's cool, man. I think it's good for the culture in general.
I think so as well. And I hope Jack doesn't go the route of being like, oh, when's the last time you had a top charting hit or rap hit, and oh, you went rock, like you can't say shit, because in my opinion none of that really proves anything and is too easy of a rebuttal to MGK.
Okay, but so what do you think then? This is I'm glad you brought that up. So what do you think would be, like, if you're Jack's PR camp, like, what are you telling him to do?
I mean, the safest thing would be to just not respond at all and literally pretend
he has to respond, bro.
You think he has to? Like, I guess, what do you think the consequences are?
What was that?
What would you say are the consequences if he doesn't? Like, the worst case scenario.
Oh, I mean, the consequences if he doesn't, people are gonna be like, bro, see, like, we knew you weren't this guy. We knew you weren't this guy. Like, that's what the consequences are gonna be. But I feel like, yeah, if I'm in Jack's camp, I'm like, bro, like, get some fucking ghostwriters and just fucking destroy this motherfucker, bro. Like, attack everything, bro. Like, how dare you even utter me in a fucking sentence, let alone tell me I'm fucking ripping flows from my boy. Like, I would say, like, I think he has to go all smoke, bro. Like, I would tell him, like, nah, dude, attack everything. You wear fucking pink dresses. You suck on vampire blood. You couldn't keep your bad bitch. Like, all of it, bro. Like, I would tell him that, just to, like, yo, like then Jack is like, oh shit, like, Jack really may be that guy.
No, that's amazing. I hope he sees this video, because we should be getting paid, or you should be getting paid if he actually goes that route, because I think it's genius, and it has to be like back-to-back level in terms of playable in the club. It can't be over like the ether beat or some shit. It has to be a certified banger, and only like 6 bars are dedicated to MGK, but like the rest you could just are kind of more ambiguous, I guess. Just like, to haters in general.
Like a hater, and there you go, exactly. But I agree. It can't be like, bro, don't come on some fucking like Mob Deep Shook One's beat, bro. Like, no, man, I want a fucking banger, bro. Like, because your album wasn't it. So come, at least, like, dude, if anything, this is a fucking lifeline. Like, this will save his album, bro. If he just comes back with deluxe that has like a diss to MGK, bro, he has to respond, dude. He has, for his own like branding. Because, dude, to come out with a fucking mid album after everyone's talking shit about you, and then to be played by some rock star a week later, bro, you have to respond.
Yeah. You could title the track "Machine Done Kelly" or some shit.
Something. Dude, something, bro. But yeah, I agree with your point that it has to be some playable shit, bro. Like, people are playing this shit all summer, and it's like a funny story, but also like but my money's on he's not responding. I'm just saying, it'd be dope if he does respond. I think it'd be dope if he does respond, just for the sake of his own street cred, if that even matters. But if you guys haven't heard it, go check out the MGK freestyle on YouTube. Decent visuals, but just pretty cool to be reminded how good of a rapper he is. All right, so one more topic. Do you want to do a new album that we both enjoyed, or 2 icons in R&B music going at it?
Let's do the new album, just because I don't know if the other one like is really confirmed and all the details and stuff are out.
Okay, cool. So obviously, Blair and I are always looking for new music just for ourselves, but also to make sure we're putting on everyone listening and watching this. IDK dropped a new album called F65 last weekend. Dude, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I fucking like this album, dude. I saw him live, dude. You saw him live too, right? Before recently,
Yeah.
he opened up for someone, right? Or you saw him?
No, I saw it was just him, and it was like
Okay.
I don't know, 8 months ago or something.
Okay, so I saw him. I think in October. He opened up for Pusha T. It was decent, but I think like it wasn't like the biggest like situation. I think he just knew like, hey, this is a good look for me to be in Miami. Let me just open up for Pusha T, kind of a thing. But I was impressed by how good he sounded vocally. Like just like, oh wow, this you sound better than your albums actually. Bro, we've said how much we enjoyed his first body of work. I think there was a second album that came out that I wasn't just tuned in enough to honestly give it enough of a critique. But man, this was a very good and unique approach to making music. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you mentioned a comment when Yachty dropped an album is like, we need more rappers who are just different and unique, right? But are also still talented, right? Because sometimes we have a bunch of unique people. I'm like, bro, but you're not good. So like, why am I tuning in just because you're fucking awkward as shit? You know what I mean? With him, I feel like there's a storytelling being told, but such a unique take and talking about things that most people in hip hop don't talk about. So I appreciate all of that. And the fact that he's very skilled in doing it is the icing on the cake for me. So yeah, kudos to him for me. But what were your thoughts on the album?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was absolutely amazing. I feel like he does a really good job of blending rap with singing. Seems like he just has a really good voice and is able to kind of do everything. And the fact that he's super conceptual with his stuff just makes it that much better, but it never feels forced or preachy or corny or any of that. It's just like, hey, here's the concept that I'm going with, welcome to my mind for an hour or however long, his album is. And it's super cohesive. Like everything was balanced. Half the time I wasn't sure if like the next song even started, but I wasn't complaining. I'm like, okay, where is it going to now? And was still pleased. And I feel like there was just a vibe for everything. There's like kind of Afrobeat type stuff, then jazzy stuff, then like mainstream.
Yeah, those jazz melodies
stuff
were fire.
Yeah, so overall, I thought he did a fantastic job and was just thinking to myself, like, this is how an album should sound and feel.
Right, like special. You know what I mean? Not just like 8 songs, like are good. So you put them on the body of work, right? Like it should be like almost like, take me on a fucking journey, bro. Like if I'm going to invest these 45 minutes to an hour just to you, I think the listener has a right to be like, it shouldn't be like every other hip hop album that comes out.
Right. And even that Snoop Dogg interlude was pretty dope. Do you remember that one? Yeah.
On the second half of the album, right?
Yeah. And for those listening, basically it was like an excerpt or whatever of Snoop talking to IDK or somebody. And he basically was talking about how back in the day when he was first with his now wife, and he was getting into it. Yep. Tupac gave him advice and was like, everyone else is telling you to leave this girl, but she loves you, and forget what the rest of these death row dudes say. And he ended up marrying her and sticking with her for like 20 plus years, which I had no idea about.
I knew he was with his wife forever. I didn't know about that story.
I didn't know about the story.
It's just fire. Like again, it's so different. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I appreciate that, like the uniqueness of his approach. Because he'll have like the typical like rap, like salty with NLE Chopper. Like, bro, that's a great hip hop song. At its essence, that's a great hip hop song. But then, those jazz songs. The dance hall song, which you pointed out was a good one. The one that I feel like he sampled Kia.
Like My Neck, My Back?
Yeah. But there's a song on the album that, man. Damn, I don't want to play it and it gets fucking like taken off.
I think you can play like 5 seconds of it, but
no, it's all right. It's on the TV too, so it won't come through. But all right, there's one song where he sampled "All You Ladies Pop That Thing," like, and it just sounds good though. Like it's a unique approach to doing it as opposed to just sampling the full beat and just like making your own version of it. So
right, he does that a lot.
Again, he's super talented, man. Like I think that's like the biggest what came through. Like I feel like what's also impressive, man. Like he's also not doing this on like a small basis anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like enough people like his fan base is strong. You know what I mean? Like, because for him to have the freedom to even do all this shit and have some big names like, dude, Music Soul Child, to get a Snoop Dogg thing even cleared. NLE Chopper is in that realm where, like, he's not just popping on any one song. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, it's very interesting how, like, the pocket he's made for himself in music in general.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I feel like there's some other artists like that, like Joyner and a handful of people who somehow aren't being played on the radio, but seem to have connections and strong relationships with the people that are on the radio.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's like, I think he has like a production background. So maybe he produced for those people that they give him like, that leeway. It's like almost like a Kanye thing. Like, bro, just do what you want to do. Like, it's, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, you're still making money off producing. I feel like it has to be that, bro, because it doesn't really make sense. I feel like, like he's not that big, but he's huge. It is still in some kind of weird way, right? Like, dude, like he did remember like 2 years ago, he did like a full Harvard Business School teaching thing.
Yeah.
And like he had like all like the top people in the industry stop by. It's like, bro, like who are you, bro? Like, like why is Virgil doing this for you? You know what I mean? Like it was just interesting, bro. And I feel like that keeps happening for him over time. And clearly, like, I don't think it's just him asking for a favor. I think people just want to be associated with the IBK brand right now.
Yeah, no, he seems like one of those rare industry people that knows exactly what they're doing and how to do it properly. And I don't know where he gained the knowledge from, but it seems to be working well. And I feel like a lot of artists could take a page out of his book.
I agree, dude. And even like aesthetically, his appearance, right? He never looked like a typical what a rapper needs to look like in 2022 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's always been unique from day one, which makes me just assume that I feel like he had some cachet or was in the industry in the background to some capacity before. So when he finally got put on officially, like he's like, bro, like this can flop and I don't care, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like kind of like that Johan Lennox and like Jalen people we interviewed before. I feel like they have like that air, like that aura of like, I don't know if it's ego or just like, bro, like this could not work and it's fine. Like it's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? Like,
because they have so many skills. I guess they know they'll be good and they'll always have a place within the industry. Whereas a lot of these newer rappers, like if it's not, mumbling over a track, like they're not producing, they're not
taking that risk.
Songs. Yeah,
they're not taking that risk. They're like, I'm not gonna do a random dance hall thing and assume it's gonna work because that's what people listen. You know what I mean? Like there's no way. Yeah. Dude, side note, right? Of taking risk and being okay with it. Dude, I was listening to We Not Done by Popcorn and Drake. You hear that song?
I'm pretty sure I've heard it, but I don't remember the melody.
Okay, but even if you don't think about that song, think about how many songs Drake has done where he has like a made up Jamaican accent. And think about how all those songs are bangers. And like, we're just okay with this. You know what I mean? Like, what other artist would we allow to put like a British accent on or something crazy? And we're like, yeah, it's fine though, because it's a fire. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I had that thought yesterday. I was like, bro, like, who else could be fake? And we're like, that's just the realest shit ever. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anyone else is doing this, dude.
Yeah. I feel like as long as you make it sound good, people are down for it. Because Nicki Minaj does the British thing all the time. And I'm no expert, but it sounds like it's like enough.
It does sound good when she did it. I agree. I think it's, but I feel like there's also like a sense like she's like a caricature though, right?
Yeah,
so it's like a funny thing. Whereas like Drake's not trying to be funny. You know what I mean? Like Drake is like, no, dude, I'm gonna put a Jamaican accent on, and you're gonna like it. Like, I do like it. Like I agree. Like, it was just funny. Like I don't know that many artists that we can do fake shit and we're like okay with it. You know what I mean? Like that just like I was like, wow, this song is a fucking banger. It has like 4 of these songs. And it's like, and like Jamaica's okay with this? Like they just like, like they're just fine with this, dude. So like, that was always interesting to me.
Yeah. No, it is interesting.
Like, dude, it's just like some things that we allow, and it's like, if that was any other artist, that would never be okay. But for him, it's like dude, if Logic did that shit, you're like, bro, like
game
stop.
over. But I think, Drake, I think a lot of people do hate and clown on him for like stealing the sound, but I think generally people are fine with it because he does it pretty well. Like, and I think the Jamaican accent, like I've seen a lot of artists, like even sometimes Don Toliver kind of sounds like Caribbean, but like it's never so like too much and just odd.
Yeah.
It's like they'll change the pronunciation a little, but it's never jarring to the ear.
Yeah, and that's why I wish we would have asked like some of the Canadian people we had on the show in the past. But I feel like there's also something about like Black men in Canada have an accent that's very close to Jamaican in itself. So I feel like it's not that much of a stretch. But as an American, I'm like, bro, he's not Jamaican. So like, what's happening, dude?
Right. Even my cousin, I mean, she's on my dad's side, but she's always been in Canada. Like even she kind of has that like Drake, Tory Lanez kind of accent when they're talking to Canadians. So yeah, there's definitely some sort of Canadian influence that's making them sound like pseudo Jamaican. Yeah,
but it's working out. But it was just funny to me that like, I don't know how many other artists will get that pass, but again, it's flawless. So shout out to him. All right, cool, bro. Before we get out of here, man, Heat of the Week, episode 142, last episode of the month before we go into the second half of the year. What's a song that you were playing over the weekend that you want to share with the team?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely bumping IDK, but the song that just really caught my ear when I was at the gym and played it over and over was the song I sent you called Lil Soldier by Ak the Savior.
Oh, bro, banger.
Thankfully, the IDK algorithm brought me to that song, but I can't describe it. It just sounds so magical and peaceful, and just a vibe. I think that pretty much sums up how it sounds, and I feel like for pretty much any mood, it could fit, and I think it's perfect for the playlist. And yeah, I just love it. I'm glad I stumbled upon it.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny how that algorithm on these platforms can just take you down a road that's like so beautiful. Like it's crazy. But I think what fucks up the algorithm is when I play like, I don't know if you ever feel this way, when I just play like my more recent playlist and like it's kind of like all over the place. So like, dude, they'll start making recommendations. I'm like, bro, no, like what are you fucking like? There's no fucking way. So when it works, so it's a fucking beautiful thing, bro. There's like so many artists that I'm like, wow, I never even listened to you like that. Like I didn't know you even had this in you.
It seems to only work though when I do it by accident. So like if I get to the end of a playlist and it keeps going, usually I'll stumble across stuff, or like, let's say, I don't know, you send me a song or someone sends me a song, it'll automatically play something new afterwards. And then I'll just hear something and be like, oh, that's dope. But if I ever specifically do like, go to the DJ or do like Tory Lanez radio or something, like I find myself skipping 15 songs before I find some shit I like.
Yeah, I feel you. That's it's a hit and miss thing with Apple Music too. I know you're on Spotify. Yeah, Apple Music too, bro. There's moments where I'm like, give me everything that sounds like Mac Miller, right? And it's like, bro, we're not even close to this shit, right? like what are you like? There's no fucking way. But no, that's that Heat of the Week that you just recommended was fire. So thank you for sharing, and it's already up on both playlists. For me, I kind of gave it away in the beginning, but it's IDK featuring NLE Choppa, Salty. Just a great, dude, a fun hip hop song, a song that if I heard it at the club or a lounge, I'd be like, yo, let's get up and like just like dance. Like, yo, just an enjoyable track, bro. And it's fun that an artist like that can have that kind of track, and then in 5 songs later be talking about like police brutality and the most like mellow R&B beat of all time. So again, just the diversity. So take a deep dive into the album, but first check the playlist out and check out Salty on both Apple and Spotify.
100%.
Cool, broski. All right, my dude, let's let the people know what we got going on, what we don't got going on, and then let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. We also have the Spotify and Apple Music playlist on the site as well. Got the merch, so if you're on YouTube, check down below and copy something. Otherwise, like, share, subscribe. We will be out of office for a couple weeks on vacation, enjoying the the luxurious life with the $20 of ad spend that we have in the account, or ad revenue, I should say. But yeah, stay tuned and keep tuning into the content.
Hit the fucking like button.
Hit the fucking like button. Love you too.
Talk soon. Peace.